You don't lose that punch. Love it. Champ gonna need a new hand. We'll be eating tonight.
I mean, what he won world titles in what, 8 divisions?
8 divisions, 13 or 14 world titles.
Crazy.
It will never be done again.
Crazy.
And as much as you want to see records broken, and I want to break records, that man is a one of one.
He's a one of one.
Yeah.
I mean, when he knocked down Thurman in that fight, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's 40 years old and still can crack and still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, look.
After training video showing Manny Pacquiao injuring his coach badly went viral, Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on Pacquiao coming back to fight at age 46. The UFC commentator said Pacquiao looked out of control, and this was not a sign of skill but rather proof of his flaws and lack of sharpness.
Generation, but not the best fighter. I would say the best, brawler, boxer type fighter, Manny Pacquiao, man.
Oh yeah,
Destroyer.
Manny Pacquiao. He
fucking just
won
a
world
destroyer.
titles in 8 different weight. I mean, he won world titles in what, 8 divisions?
8 divisions, 13 or 14 world titles.
Crazy.
It will never be done again.
Crazy.
And as much as you want to see records broken, and I want to break records, that man is a one of one.
He's a one of one.
Yeah.
I mean, when he knocked down Thurman in that fight, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's 40 years old and still can crack and still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, the power that he possesses, but it's not.
That man is one of my favorite fighters ever, but he is doing this comeback all wrong. I just heard he hit his trainer very badly in practice. I know power is the last thing to leave a fighter. The punches and speed are still there, but do not forget he will get hurt too. Mario Barrios is not a coach holding pads. He will throw punches as well.
Yeah.
And it's
Seeing him beat Keith Thurman at 40 years old, like, god damn, this guy's great. I mean, just look at his career with 8 different weight classes, world titles in 8 different weight classes. 40 years old, beats Keith Thurman, who's in his prime.
Right.
Crazy. I mean, what a man.
Explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork he gets in position, and all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots, and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez. A lot of that, sparring paid off, and it did shape me. And I know he did put out a tweet as well, saying that I hope the sparring we did, helped you in this fight, and straight away.
That's amazing.
And I was so excited. He's a legend of the sport.
That was not all from Joe Rogan. The podcast host of the Joe Rogan Experience kept going against Manny Pacquiao for several more minutes, saying so much about this comeback is just not right. Fans quickly flooded his social media comments to share their own thoughts on this issue.
Of this school, and the way that he beat Cotto, I didn't think nobody could ever do that to him. It was just like,
One fan said, "I do not think Manny has any place in the ring. Not every comeback will be like George Foreman's. Not everyone is Bernard Hopkins. He already made his strong return 6 years ago. He should not be pushed to top that." Another fan fired back at Joe Rogan saying, "Hey, we are talking about boxing's only 8 division world champion here. He has not just shown he can beat weight class odds, he has also gone against age to beat Keith Thurman before. Barrios is much easier than Keith Thurman, and we already know how this one ends."
what the fuck?
Well, his legs, Manny's legs are like tree trunks.
Yeah. And the
It's
hand
crazy.
speed, the power.
Speed, everything.
I just always wish that the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight would have took place many, many years before than when it did,
Well, it also took, dude, once he steps through that ropes, like, this is a whole different set of rules he's flying with.
like Keith Thurman talking about you gonna crucify him and stuff like that, and he just
don't say that. Yeah.
and got crucified.
Yeah, but he's super
I wish you the
religious,
best.
too.
Good luck in that.
A third person wrote, "I also do not like the danger this brings to Manny Pacquiao. I just believe he will handle Barrios easily and set another record no one can break." Finally, another fan said Floyd always said boxing will be the one to retire Manny. Part of being great is knowing when to walk away. I am sorry, but Manny does not know that. And small things like this put him behind Floyd Mayweather in the greatest of all time discussion.
They're giant. They're like a thigh.
And I know the reason why, because in General Santos, the mountains that he runs, and that steep hill. That's why they're so big, because he's always constantly running the mountains. And I was doing the mountain runs with him.
Yeah.
My calves started getting bigger and bigger. But I understand, why his calves are huge. But he's always bouncing. He's always moving around.
Yes.
Like, he'll bounce for like 20-something rounds. He'll do his pads and he's jumping up and down.
After nearly 4 years away from the public eye, boxing great Manny Pacquiao has fired up the fight world with a stunning announcement of his return. At age 46, the Filipino legend will go after WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in a high-risk fight set for July 19th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Sharing the news through his official account, Pac-Man simply said, "I am back. On July 19th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, let us make history." The news sent shockwaves through both boxing and MMA communities. While fans were excited, many experts and commentators voiced worry about Pacquiao's age and the dangers of returning to top-level competition this late in his career.
Go.
Person, unbelievable athlete, and a legend of the sport. I think as time progresses, people are really gonna appreciate his greatness.
Yeah, and coming back from defeats too. I mean, he's a guy that's had his downs. He's had his ups and his downs, and
One reaction came from NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who appeared on episode 2325 of the Joe Rogan Experience and said he could not believe it. That is kind of wild. He is 46 years old. Joe Rogan took a more doubtful view. Instead of just dismissing the comeback, he suggested the possible use of performance enhancers. He will not come back at 46 naturally. I guarantee it. The podcast host then talked about Pac-Man's legendary career across 8 weight classes while also questioning the truth behind his physical changes over the years. Yeah, I mean, boxing has always had a drug issue, he noted. He then compared it to MMA and especially the UFC, where stricter drug testing has changed the sport.
Awesome. Fire.
He has had good times and bad times, and he always. When Rodgers asked why did they stop doing that or change the weight classes, Joe Rogan turned the talk to the U.S. anti-doping agency, giving it credit for cleaning up the UFC quite a bit to prove his point. Rogan brought up former UFC heavyweight star Alistair Overeem, whose striking body change before and after USADA testing became a warning for others. Alistair Overeem is the best example. When Overeem fought Brock Lesnar, he got drug tested and he was full of steroids. When he flexed on stage, he was huge, 260 pounds solid, as rock ripped and one of the best strikers on the planet. Brock was in trouble. Then they made him take drug tests and he turned into a normal person with good fighting skills. I mean, he was not that huge monster anymore. That destroyer man.
friendly to people. It's like he's so admirable just as a human being.
And it shows too that defeats, I love how the UFC is, losses are losses.
Yeah.
Boxing has this stereotype where the zero is so...
At UFC 291, Alistair Overeem ended Brock Lesnar's night in just one round with a brutal liver kick that left the former WWE star in pain. More than a year has passed since the UFC and USADA split, ending a partnership that had become more and more tense. The breakup, often seen as a long, drawn-out standoff, created doubts about the future of drug testing in MMA. Still, Joe Rogan keeps criticizing USADA's impact and its effect on the sport. While Rogan usually has a balanced view when it comes to performance enhancers, he has made it clear he believes there are times when these substances should be allowed, and he is always friendly toward people.
Manny is also like a world-class pool player.
Well, he's got the pool tables at his mansion in his house.
He's really good.
So he's non-stop.
Like he plays like a professional.
And he loves his basketball.
Yeah,
you should see this guy
great at basketball
shooting
too.
threes. It's unbelievable.
Wow, he's a serious athlete.
Yeah.
Did training with him? Did you make any changes to the way you approach fights or the way you prepare for fights after training with him?
I did. I learned the 1%ers.
What is the exception that could make their use okay? Let us look closer. You have to train in wrestling, kickboxing, and jiu-jitsu. There is not enough time in the day and not enough time to recover. So that is when Dr. Feelgood steps in. He comes along and boom, said Joe Rogan back in 2015 when USADA was increasing tests on some of the UFC's biggest names, including Anderson Silva, John Jones, and at that time Hector Lombard. Rogan called the widespread steroid use in combat sports an epidemic. Still, Joe Rogan has never been completely against performance enhancers in sports. Even in 2015, he supported them for recovery and after surgery rehab, stressing that fighters need to heal properly.
Before the sparring with Manny Pacquiao, you do your 8 rounds or your 10 rounds of pads and you're sparring, but that's it. You do your ab work and you finish. With him, he does his pad work, he does his sparring, but then he's on the bag, he's on the shadow boxing, he's there doing the pad work. So that extra rounds just builds that conditioning and that stamina. And that's what I just found, that push more rounds.
Fast forward to 2025 and things have not changed much. The relationship between the UFC and USADA is still strained, especially after issues involving testing rules for Conor McGregor while he healed from a bad injury. Dana White openly complained about how McGregor was treated. And Rogan, who has long supported science-based help for athlete recovery, spoke out again on episode 2285 of his podcast. While talking with Andrew Schultz, Rogan explained how USADA stopped UFC fighters from using stem cell therapy to speed up healing. He said, "Well, let me tell you something. There is a reason USADA did not let people use it in the UFC. And now Dr. G Free Sports does not let people use it either. It is because it works. It is really dumb, but the idea is that it is performance enhancing because it helps you recover faster, heal from injuries quicker, and possibly recover from training faster too."
Any advice on Crawford moving up in weight? You did it so many times. Any advice for Crawford moving up in weight? You did it so many times and you were successful. What do you tell Crawford? Any advice?
My advice to him is just focus on speed and the speed and style.
Just a few days into training camp for his questionable comeback and July fight with Mario Barrios, Pacquiao already has a bunch of videographers following him everywhere he goes. He is 46 years old now and will almost surely look his age in the ring against the 30-year-old Barrios. But people cannot get enough of Manny. Fight Hype released a video on Friday showing a group of content creators gathering around Pacquiao to ask him about Terence Crawford's September 13th super middleweight fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. Pacquiao looked fairly bored and seemed more interested in taking a photo with a fan than in answering the media. Still, the group managed to ask a few questions. What advice did Pacquiao, as a veteran of moving up in weight, have for the smaller Crawford? Make sure to focus on speed. Pacquiao said that becomes an issue when you move up your speed and power. Not for Pacquiao though. Even though he started his career as a skinny flyweight, Pacquiao found world-class success across 8 weight classes and did it with an aggressive style. Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.